Let me specify a problem that we all encounter when playing Stardew Valley. The freaking sheer amount of Stardew Valley farm Animal Crossing is just way too goddamn high, and everyone is just throwing their answers like you at crazy. Unlike I did with answers to questions from teachers in high school, but that's probably a different topic. Now you likely ended up wondering which animal is the best for your beloved farm and how can you earn glory, gold and fame by buying the most efficient ones. You also may ask yourself, aren't there enough rating videos already? Well, yes. But some of them are simply so wrong. I can't even describe the agony I feel when watching one of those. They just shoot around with pointless blames without showing any advice at all. And to answer all of your justified unanswered questions in your mind with actual data and not just the highest number, I specifically made this video for you to clear all this misleading fog of useless animal information. Before we get this party started, let me warn you about one thing. My video may contain a little tiny, not even worth mentioning, why am I even warning you about it, bit of math and exciting investment calculations. For once I am really glad that I visited a higher school of engineering, which as I said before, I haven't intended to the greatest success. But it was a success. Or something similar, at least. The moral of the story, go to school kids, you never know when things will come handy to gloriously solve your financial gaming problems. An important question we need to answer before we dig into this massive pile of animal, building and product data is the question, what do I actually want to rate and what makes an animal a good one? I can't state enough how important this is because for all people out there, everyone has a different value on an animal and what makes it great. For me there are 3 simple cornerstones that are important for money investment in Stardew Valley with animals. First comes accessibility, which means this value rates how easy and cheap you can get a certain animal, followed by the return of investment rate or short ROI, which refers to how much gold you get back from the gold you had to put in. The last rating is the overall value of daily money production, and this is basically the only value that matters for late game, since the daily gain will always outweigh the investment cost when money isn't a problem, which makes this rating the easiest one to interpret. Because of this huge amount of different values, my video will end up with 2 ratings. One will be a placement of an average of all cornerstones and the other will only feature the final late game chart. To keep things spoiler free, special animals are featured in the late game section only of the video because they actually do not matter for the overall rating anyway, since they are hard to get by, so do not worry about being spoiled if you do not check out the late game stats. The first thing we are clarifying is the accessibility of our animals, and since my attempt to explain this cornerstone ended up all way too hardcore in my first try of the script, let me rather give you an easy example instead. In this case, let us start with the duck, because, I don't know, why not? A single duck costs you 1200 gold and needs a big coop to live its fancy life in. So we also gotta buy our single duck a whole new building which costs 10,000 gold, 400 wood and 150 stones. But wait, I think we've got something, because you sadly cannot simply walk up to Robin and tell her to build a big coop for you when you haven't built a coop at all. So we gotta throw her 4000 gold, 300 wood and 100 stone in the face and wait for 3 days as a punishment of our rudeness before she even gives us the chance to get our colorful friends a shiny new home. Until we gotta leave 14,000 gold, 700 wood and 250 stones at Robin's to buy herself, I don't know, a soul maybe. So she just gives us the option to build a big coop at once in the first place. Back to the money. During the first year we are able to buy 700 wood for 100 coins a piece, that equals 7000 gold, and 20 bucks per very lonely stone results in 5000 gold again. In fact, to build our 1200 gold duck a tiny little home, we gotta spend 26,000 gold at Robin's place first, which is really great. Does this mean we have to pay 27,200 gold for one duck? No, of course not. The new and a tiny bit expensive home for our lovely still not bought friend can hold up to 8 animals, resulting in 3,250 gold per duck for the housing. Combined with the purchase cost of 1200, it equals to 4,450 gold for each feathery girl. That's it. Accessibility, easy explained. And since you finally gained the wisdom to understand the numbers, I may now present you the table I have come up with that rates the acquisition cost of all standard farm animals. To no one's surprise, the chicken leads the way and the pig is the hardest one to get by. Who would have thought? At least the numbers are now directly comparable, huh? Sadly, this figure alone doesn't tell anything about the animal's worth, so we gotta combine it with our next cornerstone. The return of investment. This value is super important to understand how efficiently you can reinvest your hard-earned cash. Let us pick up our duck example once more, just because I can and not because my script was lacking good content again. The fact that I'm totally influenceable by a stupid YouTube video song about a douche duck which annoys a guy trying to sell lemonade has nothing to do with it either. Back to the example. So a single duck can produce one of two different products every other day, namely duck eggs that can be turned into duck mayonnaise and duck feathers, which is the easiest quality item that Elliot loves. For all people who wanna marry him, or like me, who totally forget that he's in the game at first place and wanna befriend him with gifts as fast as possible so I do not have to bother with him ever again. For the sake of the duck, or rather for the sake of my lifetime, I gave both items a 50-50 spawn chance, which, I know, isn't 100% accurate. The duck feather sells for 250 gold, the basic duck egg for 95, and its processed good duck mayonnaise is worth around 375 gold. Combine the mayonnaise and the feather together with a 40% boost in the mayonnaise from Artisan, you end up with 194 gold per day. Since we already calculated that the effective cost of this grape greedy animal is 4,450 gold, we now can divide our daily income by the cost of our recently purchased friend and end up with the number of 4.4%. In the end, this means that it takes 23 days to get our money back that we had to put in for every duck we bought. We'll buy, or we will not choose to buy from now on, cause yet we do know the truth. Overall in this category, the maximized friendship pick is the true winner with a return of investment of more than 16%. Second is our beloved chicken that still has a rocking 9.4, which is even 3% better than the normal pick. This tells you that the chickens take 11 days to give you your money back, and after that they are just pure profit. The standard pick is calculated as a different animal in my charts because I simply couldn't just average the late game value of it. It would have led to an unreasonable chart, as you can see in this certain picture. Rabbits and sheep, which you do not want to take care of without the shepherd profession, are not good at all. They just take too long to make a decent amount of money, while chickens on the other hand even beat the starter pick by quite a margin. And now I got the numbers to finally prove that chickens are awesome! With those two charts combined, we can easily calculate our early game winners. You probably think that it can't be that obvious, but yeah, it is as it is. First place makes the farm animal, which is by far the easiest to get by and still has a super high return of investment, namely the chicken. Surprise! The cow would be the second best animal, but why should you even go for a cow if it's 50% harder to get and gives you 25% less money back per day? Conclusion: if you want money quickly and you want it from animals alone, spend your resources on chickens and do not upgrade your coop for that. Just buy new coops again. Pigs rate high because of the huge return rate, but are still bad for the early game since you mostly get them in fall and it take 10 days to mature. Factoring in both, the pigs will probably give you a few truffles and end up chilling a whole season in the hopefully heated barn afterwards, which is quite not exactly what you want from your early game money booster. But suddenly, when late game arrives, the return of investment isn't that important any longer, because you will get a lot of money all the time anyway. The accessibility also drastically loses on value, and only high numbers do matter now, which is also the way I treated my grades back in school too, simply because League of Legends with friends was high on the priority list back then for me. And boy, have I proven myself to be bad at League of Legends. Time well spent. Since accessibility isn't a thing any longer, special animals are back in the game, and if you do not want any spoilers about what hidden types of animals there are, you may consider to leave right now. After you subscribe to this channel for free and hit the bell beside the subscribe button, of course. Watching this far, chances are high that you probably liked my video. Let us start with the last two places, that are the rabbit and the dino. Because they both do not produce high value products frequently, and I seriously have no idea why the dino has to be so freaking bad in this game. I actually totally love that little guy, girl, thing. I mean, just look at it being so cute and green. The rabbit has still a right to exist like he does, because iridium quality rabbit feet are loved by everybody in the town, except Penny, hashtag freaking probably region. Basic sheeps and ducks are even behind chickens in late game, which means a lot, trust me. Ducks aren't worth your money at all. Chickens and goats are slightly below void chickens and cows. After the cows there's a little ramp up in income, namely being the ostrich, which I personally still never had because I hardly play late game farms anyway. With 570 gold per day, it is 230 more than the chicken and resides on the 5th place of the ladder, but still not a choice that is really profitable. On place 4 we got our maximized friendship shepherd sheep, which produces wool every day and earns an average of around 660 gold per day. The 3rd place, the golden chicken, earns you a whooping 1200 gold per day, which is close to a standard pig but still falls 300 gold short. However, far above the standard pig, the maximized friendship pig reigns supreme. This massive pink fellow leaves you around 3700 gold per day, which makes it by far the income heaviest animal without a doubt. At least by raw numbers, which are always a wild guess for pigs, and if you got the right profession of course. Taking into consideration that pigs can't be automated with auto grabbers and skipping the processing step for the artisan bonus like sheep could do, while only producing money 2/3 of the year, because truffles do not grow inside your barn when it is raining, or simply just is winter, then at least the late game comfort is not on their side, but I will keep the late game comfort for another video. And that's it, my fellow farmers, my rating of farm animals and their money usage in the early and late game stages in Stardew Valley. When researching and evaluating my data, I found another idea for an interesting snowball strategy that should set up for an even easier late game. Till then, happy chickens exploiting and see you next time!